Today I'll be making Chef Hilda Baci Signature Asun rice. Like a Hilda Baci Academy perfect student, so for this recipe we'll be needing roughly blended habanero pepper and onions, goat's meat or any protein of your choice, bala fish, tiny chopped onions and big size chopped onions, roughly blended jumbo, garlic, ginger Asun flavored tomato mix, junior thyme curry and stockfish, which is optional. Moving ahead into the cooking, I imported my goat's meat first and I'm going to be seasoning it with the roughly blended onions and habanero pepper, tiny chopped onions, ginger Asun flavored seasoning cubes, salt, and I imported a little water, mixed covered and covered it to parboil. Immediately after parboiling, I deported the pots and deported another one. In the new pot, I imported vegetable oil and that tiny chopped onions and garlic. I allowed the both to sweat out a little bit before I imported the roughly blended habanero pepper and before onions. I seasoned with seasoning cube, curry powder, thyme and fresh curry. I fried everything a little bit before I imported my washed rice. This particular rice, I washed it with only cold water and hot water. I fried everything until they become one body and one soul before I imported my goat meat broth. I tested with a little more water that will be enough for it to cook until it's done. Then I imported my stockfish, mixed covered and tasted, and they said, Mama, I need more salt, so I adjusted with salt. Before I mixed covered and covered it for final cooking. At this point, the rice has dry water. I tasted it and it was done, so I quickly unfired it and fired my pan. Then I imported my vegetable oil and then my parboiled goat meat. I fried it a little bit before I imported my bala fish. I made sure not to fry my goat meat to be too crunchy. Before I imported my big size chopped onions, I fried everything together before I imported my remaining roughly blended habanero pepper and onions and then my roughly blended jumbo. Before I seasoned with ginger Asun seasoning cube and salt. I fried everything together until they were tasty enough before I imported my ginger Asun flavored tomato mix. I've always been a fan of ginger tomato paste, but you see this particular Asun flavored tomato mix, it really stole my heart because immediately I imported this, I don't even have to do too much. I just mixed it with my sauce and I got a perfect Asun sauce color and taste. And for the finishing of the sauce, I just imported fresh curry, mixed covered, and then imported my already cooked rice into my Asun sauce. I just gently mixed the rice and the Asun sauce to combine, and the outcome of this rice was heavenly. As a mom, this was the way I serve my children this food, because you all know that my children is my biggest patronizer. They were actually the first people I served this rice and they absolutely love it. Now, if you ask me to serve this rice professionally, this is exactly the way I'm going to serve it, or the other way around. I think it's best to say from here that the best decision and the best thing I've done for myself this year is joining the Hilda Baci Academy. With this class, mommy no longer cook boring food. Knowing that as an African mom, my children can actually eat rice like every day and not get tired. Because each and every rice recipe Chef Hilda taught us tastes like a brand new food. Now tell me if this is a eat or pass for you, and if you'll be trying this out, and thank you so much for watching and God bless you. Amen.